When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Hello everybody and welcome to tonight's action for the Racers Elite Truck League. And once again, our drivers get ready to do battle for tonight's action and what's expected to be a busy night of the Family Traditions RV Rentals Fixed Truck Series. Tonight, it's the cutoff race to see who will be a part of the 12-driver chase. We'll see how tonight fares out. We're at the Magic Mile, New Hampshire, here at Maconi Entertainment. Maconi Entertainment is here bringing action from all types of racing, including this series and many others. For more information, once again, go to MaconiEntertainment.com to learn more and learn how we can bring your racing action to life. My name is Shelton Prince. Alongside the booth for tonight is Dylan Coyle. Our producer this evening is Christian Hill. He's using cameras provided by Whiplash SimCams. Tonight, we get ready to go racing once again from Loudon tonight, as these drivers get ready to get into a mixture of short track races, a couple of them in a row, in fact, with Richmond, Stafford, and of course, you factor in the chase race at Iowa. There's still pressure tonight for drivers to make sure they perform well to move on, Dylan.
Yeah, absolutely. And a pleasant good evening to everybody tuning in on Maconi Entertainment. This is going to be a fun cutoff race. I already am starting to see more drivers than we've had in the past few weeks register for tonight's at least practice and qualifying sessions. Hopefully that goes into the race. And let's take a look at the point standings and what that all means for the impending chase scenarios we'll talk through tonight. Everybody from first down to fifth are locked in. Obviously, Teft, Thomas, Dunaway, and Sanfilippo have all locked in with wins, or in Brandon Sanfilippo's case, 1 win. Truth Hoke, he is mathematically in plus 50 points over the cut line. Depending on how many drivers we've got tonight, we can, I would say with almost absolute certainty, Archibald and Alex Gates are locked in. Even if we have a new winner outside of the current top 12, they should still be good. There are some catastrophic scenarios, which we haven't necessarily gone all the way through, but I would just put them as 99.9% locks. If you went into your Monday night 10 p.m. fantasy football game with a 99% chance of winning, that's pretty much what you're seeing with those two for making the chase. Other than that, JP, it's quite the show we've got right at the cutoff line.
Absolutely here. It's going to be an interesting night, to say the very least, for these drivers. Now it's going to be the matter of who's able to finish the job outright. Absolutely. Now, we'll say tonight's going to also be a tricky challenge here at New Hampshire as a whole, because this racetrack features 1 to 7 degrees of banking, but is also, while wide, very difficult to try and set up some of the moves here. It's going to be pivotal to be able to get your lane choices down pat here, Dylan, if you're able to make moves, especially 1 and 2.
Yeah, this is a 1 mile racetrack that races like a short track. It is very flat. And when we talk about, 1 mile tracks and different ways that 1 mile tracks can be raced, I don't like when they classify a 1 mile track as either a speedway, an intermediate, or a short track, because Dover does not race like New Hampshire at all. They're vastly different, and making your moves here in the trucks tonight will require getting your elbows a little bit out there, getting a little bit dirty, and for some of these drivers who need to win to make it, I hope we see that.
Should be a fun night for these drivers here in the battle for the cutoff. 120 laps going to be a part of your distance here tonight on Maconi Entertainment, keep in mind. So we'll see how drivers battle it out here at one of the newly updated graphical racetracks on the iRacing platform here in New Hampshire. Still about 30 seconds to go in the qualifying session to talk about things here, Dylan. What are some of the things you're keeping an eye on from these drivers in terms of the action we're about to see, especially we're 18 trucks deep?
I mean, we're going to see a lot of drivers who know that positionally on track, it's going to be important to make sure you hold position. I wonder if we'll see as many cautions as we have seen in past few races, which have been quite minimal. With the 65% fuel tank, we'll go over that on the pace lap. It will change things up even more so. It still should be around a one stop race, could push towards 2 stops. It's really about how the cautions fall and if we do have to see any strategy calls being made. But it looks like qualifying is about to have been wrapped up, and we can start talking about the grid.
Yes, indeed. Drivers finish up the qualifying session. It's time for them to reach the starting grid here tonight for a busy night here from New Hampshire. On the pole, Alex Gates setting the top time. In fact, tonight, Blair Holyman will start next to him on row 1. Row number 2, that will be a different story behind them. Phil Archibald, the top running Canadian, with Jesse Fox starting off in the 4th position. Row 3, Riley Frost, the highest of the drivers not eligible for the playoffs due to attendance. Sean Dunaway is next to him in row 3. Row 4, Troy Thomas and Kensley Smith. First time in a little while we've seen Kensley pop up here in the 15. Alex Teff needs a win. He's got Andrew Teff to follow alongside him in the top 10, Dylan.
Starting in 11th, it is Truth Hope, the only driver to have locked himself in already on points. With Curtis Ecker just on that cutoff line, he's going to have a solid race tonight. He'll start alongside in row 6. Kirby Wayne Scott in that 10 machine will start in 13th with Barry Nelson just below Curtis Ecker, 5 points back on the cut line. He's going to be starting in 14th. Frank Chavez in 15th, the last of the drivers to set a qualifying time, just over 1 second back of the pole time set. And Rob Yost will start in 16th with Kyle Hess and Alan Bergen 17th and 18th. That is your 18 truck Family Traditions RV Rentals Truck Series field.
Good look top to bottom at the running order here tonight. Again, some of your race analysis to think about for tonight. As mentioned, 120 laps going to be your distance. These drivers do have 4 tire sets available down pit road. Fuel limit 65%. Should still be about a 1-stopper on the gas, give or take. Also have the 1 faster pair available for drivers to utilize. Quick keys to victory here tonight, Dylan.
Keys to victory? Just make sure you avoid the chaos on these restarts.
We'll see how things go off this start here tonight. Happy with us here at Maconi Entertainment for the Family Traditions RV Rentals Fixed Truck Series, a part of Racers Elite and its truck competitions. Green flag is out. We're underway from the Magic Mile. See the diversity of some of the lane choices in the middle of the pack. Already, Andrew Tempt and True Hoke are in it. Hoke in the wall. Tempt gets front nose damage, and some of your fastest drivers in the field already with significant damage.
Green flag still out in the air. No caution has been flown, so we are still going green. Hey, nothing to clean up. It's in the sim world, right? No danger. Safety is paramount. And as long as they didn't have their wrist broken in a wreck right there with their force feedback turned up, we're all good. Alex Gates still leads the way. Blair Hollyman in second, just behind.
By the way, it was 3 wide, part of the spark that caused that. But we still stay green. Blair Hollyman, along with Alex Gates, both checking out here. It's already a sizable gap. They look very quick on the short run and are already using those higher grooves higher up on the banking.
Yeah, this track might adjust a little bit throughout the course of this race. You already see so many drivers trying way different lines than you really should be. I think it's just a lot of drivers are starting to miss where they exactly want to go. We're already in the middle groove, this battle for first and second. I wonder if it's more just them missing the corner than necessarily trying to aim there. I mean, they're going right above that asphalt patch.
Yeah, this is a bit of a delicate racetrack when it comes to lane choice, absolutely here. And in past years, some people would try and run the apron line, try and run as low as possible. Others would try the diamond line. You have to just be able to time up these arcs just right in the corners, because it's not just a one-line-fits-all type of racetrack.
It's not necessarily a one-line-fits-all kind of track, but it starts to shape and evolve as the race goes to really one preferred line. You know, they're all just trying to find their speed and I think find their groove right now. But you can already tell from that first lap when drivers didn't even know where the heck they were trying to go throughout these corners. They're already starting to find that groove that works best for them. Looks like it's just around a truck width off the apex, which is kind of a normal line around here.
For the most part, the field already single filed out. It's a track where it is a little bit more difficult to pass. We do have one driver experimenting with that apron we were just talking about, though. Rob Yost Jr. making some inroads on the bottom. Already up 4 spots so far tonight. And now trying to find a way to get the lower grooves to work. This going to be a tricky line to master for some. But if you're able to angle it just right, it makes a lot of ground up, especially in the Cup car.
Well, it makes a lot of ground up early in the run when you've got the tire life in it to try and make these moves. And if you could try and just send it in there, but he's not going to be able to keep the same momentum on exit. Gets a move done right there. It's just, that's right. It's a slide job in a way. You're trying to just send it to the apron. And it is 6-7 degrees off of what the actual corner is, so it's not the worst kind of way to go. But wow, I just 6-7'd right there, JP.
I still don't know what the reference is with that number.
Come on, man. Got to get with the program here.
All I know is it's something to do with the music video.
You already know 50% more than most of the world knows. It does have something to do with the music video. Other than that, I don't think it means anything. It's just a thing. You know what else a thing is? Is a thing right here. Alex Gates has now more than doubled his lead over second place in the early going here.
Yeah, we're looking really good up front right now, running 2/10 quicker than most of the field. Here's the look at that 77. He's had good speed all season. Top 5s 4 times this season. Has been inside the top 10 all but one of his starts in this campaign. So Gates is somebody that can contend for race wins. Hasn't really gotten himself there by the end of runs. But with the top 2 contenders for speed on the short tracks already collected an incident, tonight could be a different story here, Dylan.
Yeah, it might be a little bit of a different story. However, if he doesn't win the race, I mean, he has to win the race. We went in with it being mathematically possible to just point his way in. However, given the amount of drivers that have showed up tonight, 18 drivers who finished 18th, I'm gonna say that's around 20 or so points that you would be gaining to finish in 18th. It might be 18 or 19 points. 19. I've got my statistician helping me out right here. So with 19 points to be gained, or I should say 16 additional points if he doesn't win, he's not going to make it up, make that 25-point difference up without winning and locking himself in that way. So for Alex Teft, it is win and you're in, finish second, go home sad.
I think the conversation blended over from Gates over to Taft, but you are right in that.
It definitely did. I was thinking of Alex Teft, not Alex Gates, if we're talking about the point situation. You know, Alex Gates, though, he's very much in this chase situation. He's good. He's got nothing to worry about there. You like how I blended the two Alexes together?
Absolutely. You know who's trying to blend in well in this run? Sean Dunaway.
I like your segue.
He's currently holding on 6th, where he started the run. Just try to be patient here. And Dunaway, mind you, picked up the win at Stafford on September the 2nd. The last time he ran to victory lane. Also won at The Rock in August. He knows how to win at these types of short tracks here. It just is the matter of getting him track position tonight.
Yeah, and Dunaway, he's always the kind of driver that just bides his time, tries to make up positions as these green flag runs go on. Already starting to make a move on the 96 machine right there of Riley Frost, and a little bit of a blink, and he's going somewhere. We don't know where, but he is definitely on track, and there he is. He's trying to make the move. Blair Hollyman, by the way, as we're seeing him right now, is, again, that gap between he and Gates has extended from 0.6 to 1.2, so a second doubling, if you will. And, wow, Frost completely missed that corner. This should be easy pickings for Dunaway going into turn 1.
Nope is the answer, though, to that for now. Yeah, he's getting the chance to the door. Just can't make the move to the inside stick. Both that apex off speed all the time when it comes to these types of races. A little bit of bobble in front there for Blair Hoyman, but it's just going to be difficult to be able to make these passes just with the nature of the track. Dunaway yet again gets the quarter panel at the very least, but this time not able to get it close enough to get any sort of pull. So this is where the setup is so critical here. How can you try and pressurize somebody into a mistake here to be able to make these moves here with how difficult it's been so far?
Well, it is the 83 around. Will this bring out a caution? He's not 90 degrees around, so the iRacing system might say he's off track, and that's exactly what happens. He's off track. No green flag has come out. A little bit of damage to that front end. Maybe we haven't seen it visually, and he gets back on track. And we'll catch a replay of exactly what happened in just a few moments. But JP, remember, this is a fixed setup league, so it's just about how hard you can actually work to make those tires last. Here's the replay. Lost it all on his own.
We know he had been pushing very hard on the apron essentially throughout this run. A lot more cut that you have to have in the steering wheel on corner exit. Chance to snap around, and we see that there. So Rob Yost Jr. drops all the way down to 16th. He hasn't adapted a thing. He is staying to his line as it's 3 wide of the pack. That's because some drivers like the 69 and Jesse Fox are sliding back.
This is not going to be good. They are really compressing together. It's the accordion effect. You can barely put a piece of paper between them. Some contact between the 96 and the 69 there.
Still dooring each other a little bit. Now Fox settles on behind the battles. All while Philip Archibald looking to take away second. Blair Hoyman has fallen off on this mid-run. This field really seeing things kick off with those not able to preserve their tires. Still side by side on screen, side by side in front. Archibald yet to clear. Hoyman's getting snapped loose off of 2 and 4 though.
My goodness, this race just turned a little bit on its head. We're going 3 wide almost again. Dunaway wanted a little peek down the inside, is still itching his way towards the bottom, but very quickly the 99 machine wants to take away that inside positioning. This is all a battle for second place. Remember, Blair Hollyman almost lost it right there. Great save. Hollyman was far in front, was pushing those tires more than they could handle. 3 seconds off the pace of the leader, Alex Gates. These drivers still going 3 wide for second.
Hollyman's really fallen back. Dunaway's been able to sneak by them all. As a result of everything, though, some good moves by the 01. There's that long run pace kicking in. But Hollyman is not making it easy to pass him. Always loose again. Nearly spun it again as Archibald's busy battling with Frost.
That was, oh, look at that. The 99 slides way up the track, goes to the middle groove from the bottom groove, not of his own doing. These drivers, I mean, they are racing like this is the last 10 laps of the race. We're not even, I mean, a quarter of the way into tonight's action at the Magic Mile. Blair Hollyman decides, I'm going to go down to the apron, cut off the run that the 96 has, but slides up in doing so. This is intense.
Nerve-wracking driving right now. Hollyman changing up his line from running the top most of the time. 97 laps to go. Already burned through the first 23 this time through. And just like that, Hollyman and Frost have built a buffer over everybody else here. Because last time by, despite the loose conditions here, they were 2/10 quicker on average than everybody else behind.
Man, this race has quickly become something of a gong show, if you will. The hockey season's almost back. We've got to, you know, I wouldn't be surprised to see a yard sale by the time that this race reaches its crescendo.
Especially with the way they're driving, absolutely here. Hollyman is shifting, by the way, with that low line. That's why he's making it work so much. And shifting is something we will see here at this racetrack. Others like Frost are not shifting.
So that advantage, by the way, for Alex Gates has come down from 3 seconds to now 1.7 ever since Sean Dunaway got into second, and it's coming down even quicker. Was there a mistake from Gates, or is Dunaway just throwing it? What you got?
Hollyman just hit the wall. He's got the fence. Hollyman has significant rear end damage. He chased it up the track, and now he is drifting in third gear.
Oh, he's still dirt tracking on the exit of turn 4. That is a driver who, oh, he's in the wall again. I mean, he went from second. He's still sliding that truck in there. He's literally on the throttle, sliding it the entire way around. So I can tell you for a fact that's not good for the tires.
Well, I was going to say that was going to be part of the question, was the balance of shifting versus not shifting. It's looking like he is not adjusting his strategy here. If anything, he's pushing harder and losing a spot. I'm surprised he's still not spun the truck, but he's going to probably have to use the faster pair during the pit stop.
I wonder if Blair Hollyman is going all out on a two-stop strategy, because those tires, I mean, if he wants them to lie, he's still sliding on the exit of the corner. He was already way past the exit of turn 2. He was halfway down the backstretch almost, and he's running on both the apron and the track at the same time. The fact that he's still in the top 5 is ridiculous.
I don't know how long that's going to last, though, with the way things are going. Archibald. Yeah, Archibald last time by was about half a tenth quicker and is not sliding the tires, albeit keeping it in 4th gear. Oh, here we go! There we go!
He's done!
Archibald into him! They both crashed down to the road course. Up the track goes the 32.
No caution!
There it is. Caution comes out, and That did get triggered with them coming on the racetrack slow. You called it, and Blair Hoyman saying, "Oh, I'll claim that one." I wonder why.
You know, if you go for a gap that doesn't exist, you're no longer a race car driver. That's Ayrton Senna. If you race a track like it's dirt and it's not dirt, it's just asphalt, you might be Blair Hoyman, and that eventually led to a semi-blown engine, and that will lead to a fast repair being used, and this will lead us to a two-stop kind of strategy. So, all things considered, he kind of made out pretty well, I think.
He lost those track positions, so did Archibald, but caution got triggered because slow right there. But you could see it coming with this drifty drift again.
Archibald, it was weird. Like Archibald, I think he thought that the 32 would stay up against the wall. It's a split-second decision that does not go to his favor there. He definitely just should have kept the lane because he kind of drove down the inside with Hoyman. So that's something. Let's watch on board with Archibald here. See some dirt tracking, see him come back up. I mean, I'll be honest, it was a bit of a late reaction for him to go down anyway. I think it would have been, did not do the NASCAR lightning challenges way back in the day. You know those wreck avoidance challenges? They were fun.
I love just having actual wrecks in my races because the AI was not known for bringing out cautions in NASCAR Thunder Road 4.
JP, you come across as the guy that absolutely wrecked the guy, way in the back so you could get a caution on NASCAR 04 and kept doing it so the caution would continue to stay out.
Didn't everybody do that?
I mean, everyone may have done that. I just went the other way,
You mean spun in circles for the caution yourself?
No, I drove the other way, turned the cautions off, and then wrecked the whole field.
Good point.
You've got to do it, JP. Just not. We do not recommend this in an actual official iRacing race. Don't do that unless it's AI, and then it's okay.
88 laps to go. This time by. It's worth noting, right for the caution, Sean Dunaway was within 1 second of Alex Gates. That's how quickly he reeled in the 77. And now, they'll set up the restart zone, knowing Dunaway is once again showing long run strength. Green flag is out, back underway. Battle is on for second immediately.
Everyone came down pit road during that caution period, so it has now become a one-stop race for the remainder of this race. They'll probably stop around lap 85 to 95. That's when you're going to see the pit window really open. It's halfway from the end, and is that Barry Nelson way in the back? That's not good for his chances at making the chase. He's 5 points below the cut line, and Curtis Ecker is in 6th.
All over the track there, we still stay green as once again Gate shows the short run speed. Oh wow, the battles are on. In the battles up front, Frost Muscles holding on to the higher line, but first side by side, you have to go all the way back to Alex Teft, Jesse Fox and company, who are trying to sort themselves out early in the run. Also trying to sort themselves out, Smith with the send, able to get back into the top 4. And the short run is where things really get at least the tempo set right. It's going to be the question on making sure who is able to preserve their Goodyear Eagles with the speed on the short run.
Yeah, it's, I mean, it's not necessarily about preserving as much as it is just making them last for two short, abbreviated fuel runs, right? Because they're not going to go the full length. We were, the 8 and the 3 make contact, teammates. That's fun to look at right there. But you've got, instead of that 60-ish lap fuel run that we were originally going to see, oh no, the 8 wrecks the 3. Is the 3 going to save it? Unbelievable from Troy Thomas.
Troy Thomas able to hold on to it as that was a bit of a squeeze play possibly on the 8. With the dotted lines and lane choices so critical, and Thomas ends up getting to the back of the field with that slide. He'll still hold on to his truck, but his tires are crisp. You know what's also going on? Blair Holyman, he's also looking fast short run again, making more spots in the Zoo Yost racing truck. And the question is, how is he going to now handle this run? I don't think he's changed up his strategy per se, although he is holding fourth gear on the higher groove.
Yeah, I mean, heck, Blair Holyman has more of an opportunity to make that strategy of just going hard at the start work. Now he doesn't have to try and make it to 60 laps. He can just make it to that 40 to 50 lap buffer point when he can come down pit road and still make the strategy work, make the strategy last. But nonetheless, we're almost at that 1/3 of the way point here, and Alex Gates is still leading this race, but it's a different challenge now.
Slowly back to shifting goes Holyman now. He's just choosing later now for his throttle up points for the shift. Watch. See right there, middle of the corner. After some of the engine roll, goes the gears and says, well, tires are the enemy after all, so who needs them?
Listen, he's putting on a show for us, but if he wants to ruin his own race, he can do that. Because watch, he throttles up in third, and look at that counter steer. It's every corner, and that was a nicer version of every time we see him coming out of turn 2. Let's watch this again. Now this is more of a normal-ish line. It's normal-ish, but we all know what's coming here. No? Beautiful. Oh, he decided to say, shut up, Dylan. I know what I'm doing. Oh boy.
Well, you know what's going on though as he goes in the apron? Sean Dunaway's going for the race lead up front. Dunaway is alongside Gates, and he is right now not using the apron, but Gates is using the moon to be able to try and get some roll side by side for the lead.
Yeah, this is a good battle for the lead right now. The 0-1 of Dunaway way down on that bottom groove, slides up. And then that fourth line, the 77, kind of enters the corner, has the momentum on exit. This is a good battle with two drivers with varying strategies to get and hold position.
We'll see what happens here with Dunaway, keeping a good fight going. Keep in mind, he has been lightning quick in single car / truck speed. Once things get going past 15-20 laps, he's been one of the fastest on the track, in fact, at that point. It's about getting the lead before then and be able to run away. He's got the lead. Now he can try and run away. Already about 12 laps into the run, but Gates is not giving it up. Robbie Frost is also in the conversation with the battle, but Dunaway clears it on through, Dylan.
So Sean Dunaway, 2 wins on the season, almost got the bumper right there from the 77 of Gates, who slides way up the racetrack. Will have a little bit of momentum, but I still think it's a really solid corner from the 0-1 of Dunaway. A 1 truck length advantage, and he's got the lead out right now. We'll see how long he can hold on to it for, but Riley Frost is also right there.
Bit of a scrape for Gates for good measure. Frost right now, for reference, is running more so on par with Gates than he is with Dunaway. It's going to be so difficult to match up with what the 0-1's able to do at a track like this yet again, showcasing his speed in these types of races where tire degradation comes into play. Already 7/10 of fall off. Just being able to keep the field at bay. By the way, technical issue, Kyle Hess falling down the running order. At the moment, Hess is now a lap down as a result of said issues with his respective connection. So unfortunate for a driver we've seen a little bit of. No longer going to see him for now on the racetrack. By the way, Alex Tepps having the same type of ordeal up in the 8th position.
So I'm trying to look at all the drivers currently not locked in that need to be here and in this race right now to give themselves a good shot. Everybody, we're not talking Gates or Archibald. They are in the race, and obviously, but they are also, we think, mathematically locked in. Blair Holloman, Kirby Wainscott, Frank Chavez, Rob Yost Jr., Curtis Ecker, those drivers from all the way on back in the chase right now. They're in this race. Barry Nelson, obviously, in this race as well. Alex Teft, 2. Steve Castle is not in this race and needed to be in attendance and needed to win tonight. Obviously, not going to happen if he's not here. And the same goes for Steve Sizemore. So, it's really 2 drivers outside of the chase right now that have the opportunity to make the chase. And it's Alex Teft, who needs to win tonight, and Barry Nelson, who has to make up a 5-point disadvantage that he currently has against Curtis Ecker. But other drivers who have bad nights, there could be a bit of a point swing. It's really going to come down to, honestly, I think even Blair Hollyman's almost completely locked in as well. So it's really Wainscott, Chavez, Yost Jr., and Ecker that are in that might get bumped by one of Nelson or Teft.
Yeah, and right now, I don't know if Teft is going to have Alex specifically the speed to get the win here tonight, but at least try and help out his cause for now. We'll say, as you see Dunaway on the racetrack, he's starting to yard away a little bit, a couple hundreds here, a couple thousands there, doing a solid job marching away. There is one contender who is a little bit quicker though, where if we get in our caution flag, maybe someone to keep an eye on. Remember Andrew Teft, he still has a faster pair in his back pocket, Dylan. The 98 is right now running lap times off and on quicker than the leader. Rob Yost Jr. also is running lap times in that same ballpark, albeit he's about to still try to use that bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to get the most out of his equipment early in this run. Something like 25 to 30 laps from now, we're going to start to see drivers come down pit road. So you still are not even halfway through this green flag run. Having better times than the leader is not necessarily the best thing at this point because it's going to swing back the other way.
Yeah, right now, Yost Jr. up 9, by the way. Talk about swings in the race itself this evening. But want to quickly mention some of the other series racers Elite puts on, because keep in mind, they have somewhere up to 5 different series that are all in the midst of registration, including a Premier Next Gen series, a Thursday Next Gen for those who can't make the Premier Next Gen, a Super Speedway series, an Xfinity series. There's all sorts of variety here, as Blair Hollyman is up to 3rd spot, passing by Alex Gates again. But a lot of the drivers that we see in the Truck Series race in multiple different series and just want to have fun. In particular, Andrew Teft leading the Xfinity Series points and has been going back and forth with James McRae in the Next Gen / Cup Series. So a lot of these drivers we see here in this series, they participate a lot and are very committed to Racers Elite competition.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Racers Elite has multiple different divisions going all throughout this each week, and as all of the seasons are starting to wind down for them, you start to see some of the drivers maybe prioritizing specific series, but usually you'd see most of the drivers who are good at one be good at another. If you could drive a truck, you can drive a stock car. It's a stock truck. It's really just a stock car. Just it's moniker, right? Well, we got to say truck. And Rob Yost is trying to drive that truck, still on the apron, is getting some momentum right here on the 8 of Curtis Ecker. And Ecker, one of those drivers we've talked about, right? Only 5 points up on that cut line. Barry Nelson not having at all a good day. The only driver, or I should say the first driver, a lap down. So a caution coming out now would do wonders for him. Yost with another dive down onto the apron, trying to de-wedge that truck right there and get this move done. He's not going to be able to do it here, but gets ever so closer on corner entry. Just how many times are you going to be able to do that before the tires start screaming for mercy?
It's such a balancing act when you choose these lines, absolutely. Rob Yost Jr. not able to make the pass yet on Ecker in the midst of said fight. By the way, just received a confirmation the reason Kyle Hess is out of the race. He had a power outage. So, the 86 is your second driver with a DNS or a DNF tonight. That would essentially mean Blair Hoyman is good in the point standings to advance here. So he is in unofficially with that technical issue for Kyle Hess as Rob Yost tries the inside, still cannot make the pass. He's getting really loose on the transition for the banking for the apron.
Yeah, this battle just will not quit. It's pretty interesting what's going on right here. I still just wonder how. Oh wow, the 8 definitely had an issue throughout the corner because the 83 made that move with 3 truck lengths in between both of those drivers. Definitely had to be some sort of mistake from the 8 through 1 and 2.
By the way, up front, Blair Hoyman, he's either found something or he's about to fall off a cliff. We're 28 laps in.
We know Blair Hoyman being in second place, about to be in P1. He's been pushing that truck like no tomorrow. He's going to go down on the apron again and try to get this move done. Most likely, Dunaway is going to say, all right, yeah, I'm not going to fight you too hard for it. He's still sliding around these corners.
Think he just got the edge? He did for the lead lap. Hoyman to the inside, to the race lead. Where did he find all this speed? This is what he was trying earlier, but now he's making the truck actually stick and not spin.
I mean, we'll see exactly what happens. You know, we're at around the same point he started to have issues. It's just, that's not sustainable. It's going to be easier than making it 60 laps, just making it 45, 50 laps on this run if it stays green. But we've seen this before, right, in this race. The struggles for the 32 start happening he's already sliding it again. He just left tire tracks out of the corner. What is he doing?
I mean, at this point, he is not afraid to use every bit of real estate pavement, and now he can account for a majority of the skids, by the way, down there being his off the corner. Past halfway in the race, he's still trying to pull away. First led laps the night, in fact, right now, for this 32 truck, if he's able to keep it stable. Frost is also matching lap times with the 01 machine, and those two are still in the no shifting group. Do you prefer the shift based on what we've seen some of the drivers do, or would you just keep it at 4th?
Well, I think it just depends on which line you're running. If you're running down low and these are all fixed setups and the gear ratios make it so if you're down on speed that much, go in the 3rd gear and just hope you don't do anything to spin the tires when trying to get traction out of the corner, because you're going to be in higher revs. At that point, how about Kensley Smith in the wall inside of the backstretch, backing up way off track onto that road course configuration, no caution.
We stay green as Smith rejoins the track. I think Kensley Smith actually avoided any damage there also. Was running in the 8th position, in fact 5th before the spin. Let's take a look at why.
just getting loose off of the corner.
Not sure if that's it. Yeah, got loose and then hit the wall. No damage, no harm. Truck's okay, just a little bit of scrapey scrape. So, 15 now runs 13th as a result. Checking back in with Rob. He is now going for 4th, by the way. He's running even quicker lap times than Blair Holyman, and he is just charging these corners.
Yost again trying to make some more moves. He's one of the other drivers in this race that have been trying that bottom groove for a high majority of it. Here's my thing, you know, we see Yost do it, we see Holyman do it. Why are those the only two that are running the apron? Well, it definitely has its drawbacks, and we haven't really seen the... Wow, that could have been bad. He and Alex Gates right there. We haven't really seen the drawbacks as this run has progressed, but we saw it in the first green flag run, exactly what happens. We've seen tires start to come off on Blair Holyman, and I just wonder how much longer these two can go with running that apron. I mean, to make this move stick, it's not a bad idea, but you just lose time at the end of a run. Can't clear him there. Is that damage on the rear of that 77 in that rear right rear?
I don't see damage.
No, it's just the way it's some optical illusion.
It's the paint scheme. It makes all the angles look like they go from 90-degree angles to 45-degree angles.
If it's a 45-degree angle, iRacing will not throw the caution.
If it's 46 degrees, absolutely they'll throw it.
You gotta be 90 degrees. 90 degrees or more.
It depends on the track, but Rob Yost does have the angle up front. Gates trying one more swing at it to keep alongside. Will the 83 slam the door? No. He'll just leave a country mile of distance to the inside, allow the 77 to build up another second wind.
Yeah, Gates is going to keep running that middle groove. Cannot allow Yost to get in front. That would hurt this line that he's taking. Yost almost was able to clear him, and wow, way up that groove goes Gates. I still think he'll hold on right there. Yeah, he does that and more, but up into the wall he goes. It'll help the 83 get some speed back after it was scrubbed by the 77. They're neck and neck going into the corner. Physics say, well, I was going to say physics say if they take that same line, it should be the 83 getting in front of the 77, but the 77 actually came down to that first, or maybe in between that first and second typical groove here, and he's doing it again here. So he's starting to feel the pressure a little bit. It doesn't want to run as high, so he's not allowing the 83 to just slide up in front, but I don't think he's going to have an option here.
Yeah, the longer this goes, the more time they lose. As you said, 4 seconds lost to the next pack, by the way. As there it is, Rob Yost Jr. closes the door. And it took about 5-7 laps. Curtis Ecker is quicker than both of them too, by the way, ready to join this fight also. So we're almost at about the midway point of the run here, Dylan. How far are you willing to go here?
Well, it depends on how I saved my tires or not. If I'm Blair Holyman, if I'm Rob Yost Jr., maybe less so. I'm hitting very soon, right? So they're on their tires so far. They're about to go to their 42nd lap on tires. You got to remember around 4 or 5 of those laps were done under yellow flag conditions, and Yost goes down pit road. What am I saying?
Frost and Yost, are they going to be able to make the distance is the question. A lot of people are pitting. There's 48 to go.
They'll be able to make distance easily, even with the 65% fuel tank here. More than easy with these trucks to make it. Now, if they pitted with 55, 60 to go. Maybe not, probably not. They're good now. They are good. Archibald down pit road as well.
So the undercut strategy is underway here. Troy Thomas also ducked in this time by. So everybody now thinking about, when am I going to get some extra fuel goods on my car/truck? And the question is going to be, when do the leaders respond here? The fall off right now is some of the highest all season, and why I think we've seen drivers like Dunaway perform early on. Almost 2 seconds of fall off for these drivers in the field right now. That's a lot of fall off for the standard of the trucks, where some of the tracks these days only fall off 1 second.
I'm saying more like a second and a half maximum of fallout through the field. The average is maybe 1.1, 1.2 seconds. Got to remember, the hotter the track is, the more that those times will fall. And it is 105 degree track temperatures right now. It did drop from 109 when we did have the initial drop of the green flag. Nonetheless, clouds have started to kind of go over the top of the circuit. That will help with some grip and the longevity of these runs. And at this point, you're halfway through where you would want to get to the end of this race. 45 laps on these tires, 45 laps to go. Again, I'd probably go in 2 or 3 laps time, just because of how the how the caution laps stood out earlier. I'm shocked Holliman is still on track, though. I will say that for sure. His last lap time was a half-second slower than Sean Dunaway, who, by the way, is only a couple truck lengths behind for the lead of this race.
Yeah, I think Holliman just said he's pitting this time by. He had been saying, oh my goodness, on the radio as well. So the leader is coming on in. And it's going to be Holliman who blinks first, as Ecker now potentially take over second. No, he'll also enter pit road in this time. So these drivers will have to go just about the whole distance of the run just to be able to make it to the end on the fuel tube. So it's going to be an interesting time here on how things shape up for the race lead now, Dylan. We know Dunaway's good at saving. He's coming in this time.
Yeah, Ecker down pit road, has those right side tires put on, left side jacked up, getting those tires put on right now. Blair Holliman, 14.5 second stop. Ecker with a 14.4 second stop down pit road. Your delta is somewhere in the 38 second region for most of the drivers here. Riley Frost with a blazing quick time in and out, 36.9 seconds, almost a second and a half, 2 seconds faster than I'd say the majority of the field. But guess who's in front right now, who's trying to go for the overcut? It's Andrew Teft, and we have barely talked about Andrew in this race. He is in first, his brother Alex is in second. Alex needs to win to make it in to the chase. Andrew Teft, though, he got involved in that early wreck. It was really none of his doing, but regardless, we do not typically talk about him this little.
It's going to get interesting here. Dunaway has cycled 3 seconds, by the way, behind Blair Holliman. Andrew Teft, he's been fast, just hasn't had the luck tonight, as there he goes into pit road. Not going to cycle for the race lead, obviously. Alex Teft is rolling the dice, and we've seen the 43 not be afraid to try stuff. He's on the track on the top of your pylon as the 98 rolls on in. The Teft's very quiet for both.
Well, we know Alex Teft needs to win this race to have any shot of, making it into the chase. That's his only shot of making it into the chase. You might as well roll the dice and just stay out for as long as you can. Hope for a caution to come out, because that's literally it. You got to roll the dice at some point. Kirby Wayne Scott, 2.5 seconds back, also staying out on track. They've gone 51 laps, or 50 full laps on their 51st lap on this set of tires, and they've probably got another 4 to 5 laps in the fuel. Look at how much faster everybody is behind him. Truth Hoke trying to get to the outside. I wonder if Gates is bringing it down pit road this time by. I think he's staying out, actually.
Oh,
I would be wrong. He's going down pit road.
Yep, there's the end of the tank. So the answer is, if it would have gone green, probably would have been a 2-stopper actually by 20 laps. With the total cycle. Corby Wainscott is the only person left on the racetrack, and interesting enough, it is not Hollyman who cycled in front. It's actually Riley Frost. You see Alex Gates, he's cycled right behind Dunaway. Rob Yost on 10-lap-old tires has also cycled just in front of this battle.
Well, the undercut is pretty strong when the tire wear is around 1.5 seconds and you're in 5 laps earlier. You're going to obviously suffer very quickly compared to everybody else. Shouldn't be too much of a battle, but, you know, in a track that's all about where you are on track and holding position, it's not the worst roll of the dice. It's just it's going to be very difficult for Riley Frost to hold on to that provisional lead of the race. Kirby Wainscott, by the way, still out on track on lap 53 of this stint.
We'll see where things now shuffle fully on the intervals. Dunaway already in front of the 83 by sizable margin with the tire difference, and has pulled away from Gates a little bit because he's got much fresher rubber. But it's going to be who can catch up to Truck 96. Guess how big the lead is, Dylan? 5.2 seconds.
Well, I don't think it's going to stay that way. Like I said, right, if you have an undercut of 5 or 6 laps and the current times that stayed out were at 1.5 seconds per lap, 5.6 seconds at this point in the run, that kind of makes sense. It's just not going to last at all.
Yeah. This gap likely will be trimmed down by the lap 24 to go mark, I believe would say, based on the interval already. It's just going to be a matter of how it's then handled. That's, again, with a 5-lap difference on tires. Dunaway is quicker than Hollyman as well, by the way. So Dunaway is knocking down the time. What's the mindset like now, Dylan, if you're Sean Dunaway, knowing you've got the speed? It's just going to take time to get to the 32 with compression because of the way the cycle went.
Yeah, and you know, as this cycle, hopefully this green flag cycle kind of plays out, the drivers that pitted last are going to have a much faster truck in a very short amount of time than everybody else. For instance, let's look at these lap times. Blair Hollyman, you just said 5.6 seconds, right? Or somewhere in that range. Well, it's 3.7 seconds now. Just a few laps later, and that's around a 5-lap tire difference. I'll tell you what, Blair Hollyman doing a fantastic job of keeping those tires fresh, and that in-pit lane time was 1.2 seconds quicker than Sean Dunaway. Dunaway had an extra lap out there, so that 3-second gap between Hollyman and Dunaway, it makes sense because of it.
Yeah. See that comparison, Taft. On the bright side for Andrew, he's already locked in with victories. It's just this race didn't start off well with the incident. He's had long run speed, just has not been able to get any track position back all night long. But that's a long
pit stop time for the 15 truck. It's right over 30 seconds right now, probably repairing some damage.
I think they're out of the truck. Yes, they are. So Kensley Smith is parked in. So the damage repair is need to find a new driver.
That's a brutal statement, JP. You can park there, though. I will say that.
I didn't mean it to be brutal. I'm just saying.
I think you meant it.
You're just trying to get me in trouble.
I'm trying to get you in trouble, that's right.
Rob Yost is even out with Alex Gates, by the way, despite the older tires. So that should say a statement on the 83's actual raw speed. That's actually pretty impressive where he's been able to cycle. Compare that to Raleigh Frost, and Frost has not been able to do that.
Yeah, it is pretty impressive from Rob Yost Jr. He's running in traffic 2/10 quicker than Frost just did, and now we see these two battling again, the 8 and the 3. I mean, they are not giving each other any space. A little bit of a bonk right there between those two and through 1 and 2. Ecker gets the move done. It's much more important for Ecker than it is for Troy Thomas to get a result right here. Oh, man, Thomas way up the track into the 8 machine.
Oh, this is tempers flaring. This is not done yet. Already seen Ecker make the move outside. Here comes Thomas on the ship. He tries to park it. Ecker hits him and tries to damage him.
I do have to give myself a little bit of a correction. They do have very similar paint schemes, but Thomas is on Misfits and Ecker is on Chicken Coop Racing. They literally have the exact same pattern, it feels. So that's on me for saying it inaccurately. But nonetheless, that makes more sense why these tempers are flaring. They're not teammates. They don't care.
And I think at this
They are
point,
green mates, Christian Hill, our producer, just said.
that is very cringe. That's cringe.
That's why I attributed it.
So, I will say that battle between the green trucks is not over yet, by the way, because Ecker just sent it back on Thomas. You see Rob Yost still going on. Will Ecker make contact? Here we rub doors again. And this time, we feed him a fender. Thomas up the groove into the wall.
Almost bounced back down the track and into the 8 machine. That did not happen right there. I'll tell you what, if you're Curtis Ecker, you're sort of playing with fire a little bit, but at this point in the race, Barry Nelson is 2 laps down. It's not like the odds of Nelson getting 2 laps back at this point in the race are slim to none. So I guess you might as well just race it out, but it wouldn't, you know, if you've got a new winner, again, like Alex Teff, then that maybe changes the deal, and Teff's almost a lap down. He's 17 seconds back. That's not almost a lap down, but he's at the tail end of the lead lap. Speaking about Teft, let's talk about Andrew Teft and that move we just saw on your screen, JP.
Yeah, Thomas just let him go. Quite simply, seen the faster truck on much pressure tires, let him have it. Didn't even try and put up a fight, and now we'll see what the choice is for Ecker's case. Rob Yost not done with the 77 still. And he's a little bit loose. Yet again, getting touched loose off the corner.
Well, as you start to run that line more as this race goes on and starts to reach its closing stages, and you've got tires that are older than the vast majority of the field, it's going to be harder and harder to make moves like that stick. Yost just cannot get the move done on the 77 of Gates, but really sends it in there that time. I mean, he is trying. You know, there is no fault to him for trying to make that move stick. He cannot get it done there. It's closer going into 1. The 77 again scrapes the outside wall. Not a low enough speed to enter in on the apron, but a low enough speed mid-corner to roll through it and exit. That was pretty solid from the 83 machine.
Keeping the fight up. The older tires may be one thing, but he's still been fast. 21 laps to go for them at the stripe. It's worth noting the battle for the race lead is also touching up because Blair Hollyman has reeled on in Raleigh Frost. Half a second their difference. Still keeping an eye on Rob Yost for now. But things are getting interesting. The tire differences are now really overlapping. Andrew Teft also just made the move in the backdrop. You see with Curtis Ecker nearly having an issue again.
Yeah, those lap times are completely changing. Blair Hollyman is now about to make the move for the lead of this race, and Barry Nelson does not want to go a third lap down, but gets out of the way. Side by side for the lead of this race, coming to 19 laps to go. The dirt tracking 32 machine decides he's going to slide it down on the apron and get the move done. Is he clear? JP, I think he is, but he didn't. He hesitated. Wow.
Blair Hollyman takes the race lead, and he's got more than 4 seconds still on Sean Dunaway, and it's quicker than anybody else on the racetrack. Hollyman looks to take off and keep this race his.
So Blair Hollyman, who brought out the second caution of the race, or the first caution I should say, the only caution of this race, for doing exactly what he is doing right now, is in the lead of this race, has a 4.5 second gap on the driver back in third. This is crazy.
Yeah. See him just being able to start to build a buffer already, 3/10 quicker than Rally Frost last time by. Just has 17 laps to go in the midst of these battles to be able to close things out. Although, he better not wreck the truck before he gets there. He has the opportunity to just control this race if he keeps it careful, even with the interval close-up potential.
Yeah, and, you know, we see Hollyman, we see Frost, both of them have very similar driving styles, but Hollyman has just been ridiculously, you know, aggressive during this race, and it's just impressive the fact that he's been able to make this happen as well as he has. He's not lost any time to Sean Dunaway back in third. He's holding still against he and Riley Frost in second. 16 laps to go, 16 miles is still a lot of time, but it's looking rosy for Hollyman.
Very rosy by a sizable gap with the way things are going. Coming to 15 laps to go. Frost still at least sticking around now. We'll see if that stays the case. Speaking of which, you still have the 70-73 close. You also have the 8 and the 3 sticking together as well for those curious on the racetrack. But it's been an interesting night so far. It's been about, can you improve on your performance? Can you find things? This track cooling down definitely playing in the hands of those who are trying to run this bottom of the racetrack, absolutely.
So we're coming to 14 laps to go, and that gap between Hollyman and Dunaway has been extended. It's been extended between Frost and Hollyman. I mean, we've been dunking on the 32 style this whole race, but I think he's going to be able to dunk on us in the interviews afterwards if he does hold on to this win.
Yeah, what an improvement, I will say, with 32. And gaining, because Sean Dunaway has really fallen off a cliff. I'm not sure what's going on with Dunaway, because he's just not getting the speed down compared to what the leader's doing by far. He's running a 10 to 3/10 slower than what we're seeing from these two up front. Still, coming to 12 to go. Hollyman ready to try and close things out strong and try and build as big of a gap as he can. He's been top 5 every single start here, Dylan. It's just been the difference maker of getting a win tonight. He needed to attend this race to make sure he was in the chase. This will be a good statement to be the 4th different winner this season.
Well, yeah, he's on track to not only be the 5th different winner of the season, but he's also on track to go as the only driver in the chase to get a top 5 in every single race he's been in this year. Obviously, he's got 2 fewer starts than everybody else in the regular season, but he's looking to make it 7 for 7 in top 5s. That's pretty remarkable.
It's been an impressive drive, to say the very least. By the way, things could get interesting for fourth with coming to 10 laps to go, because if you see your interval, the 98 of Andrew Temps has been able to knock down the time for at least the top 5. Keep an eye on that Bills machine. The Bills have been rolling, the Bills Mafia at least, so far this season. Josh Allen didn't get any passing touchdowns over the weekend, but they still performed well enough to get the win. It's not looking good if you're Alex Teff, by the way. He needed a roll of the dice. He needed a perfect strategy. It's not looking good at all for the 43. 10th spot, Dylan.
Yeah. Well, Alex Teft, I mean, he's got the same amount of races as Blair Hollyman this year, this season, and he entered in tonight at 40 or 38 points back, and that's obviously completely dashed his hopes of making it into the chase. He needs a shot and a prayer to make up that gap. And I think I was just corrected in my ear by our producer. Was that the case there? You're saying 43 points between Alex Taft and Blair Hollyman. What is 254 minus 216?
Don't do math on the air. That's a rule.
That's 38 points, my friends.
So,
that's not the math.
for those wondering, he's getting told a math number in his ear, and that's not the math, apparently, I'm guessing. Well, regardless, it's 25 Alex Teft had to the cut line. It was a must win.
I just need you to know, and I'm having an argument with our producer right now on air, +5 and -5 is just 5 points. It's not, yeah, that's right. It's not for, I wish you guys could have heard the copium that's happening in the background. I digress. 6 laps to go, coming to the stripe.
And Andrew Teft is kind of equalized out, by the way, as Barry Nelson's chances are toast. He's parking it.
Yeah, Barry Nelson said goodbye.
Yep, just pulled the pit road and stopped in the pit stalls. All while Rob Yost. Oh, don't hit the grass. You know, we went too low that time. Just cannot make the pass. It's constant side by side by side by side with 5 to go this time.
Yeah, this battle just is nonstop, and Andrew Teft is now really entered his way into this top 5 conversation. You know, it's a shame none of these drivers are fighting for the chance to talk to us at the end of this race. They're just fighting for 4th place, 5th place, and 6th place to the loser of this 3-truck battle. But again, side by side, 2 trucks looking quite squirrely on the exit of 2.
Stoner sent to the inside. 83. Rob Yost nearly spins it. 4 laps to go. 4 more times around. Can the 83 take 1 more spot in your closest battle on track? The one thing I will say in this fight, Dylan, Rob Yost might be able to track out more and have better success here. He is giving a lot of room.
Yeah, Yost is given a ton of room. He's got to use all the available track, and he's not doing that. So that's definitely, this move has been for the taking for quite a bit right here. He might get it done if he's able to slide that truck up in front of the 77. Get up, no hesitation, get on the outside. And he tried to do it. He still gave all the room. That's frustrating to watch.
You have to make the pass. It only took about 30 laps of battling, give or take. But Gates has the run inside. Nearly got to the quarter panel. 2 to go from New Hampshire.
That almost brought out a caution if they made contact right there, which would have been a wild end to how this race would have shaken up. but Yost makes the move stick. Into the wall goes the 77, and Blair Hollyman is about to start his white flag lap. What a race. Shut us up.
What a recovery from Blair Hollyman from the start of the race. Absolutely here. Lead was up to about 3 seconds, lost about a second in the past few moments or so, but it doesn't matter. Blair Hollyman's been a consistent threat for top fives every single time he's been on the racetrack this season. Tonight, Blair Hollyman ready to close things up for the regular season with a W. Blair Hollyman wins at New Hampshire.
I don't even know if to call that a dominant win or what, but he certainly showed us something as the 8 and the 3 still are doing battle till the very last moment. Who's going to get this position? P7 goes to Curtis Ecker. He's also gotten himself into the chase with that race tonight.
Electricians RV Rentals Fixed Truck Series sees Hollyman go to victory lane, 5th different winner this season. Hearing a couple drivers actually having some fuel issues on the radio, but Blair Hollyman is ready to celebrate a victory. His team boss is ready to join him on the front straightaway. And
it's the 32. It's backing up.
I think they're trying to go for a tandem celebration here. And they are swinging and missing.
Bow, 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 bow.
There we go. Just had to line up the bumpers with Rob Yost instead of gas. Celebrations on from Blair Hollyman. Will he burn on his own? Yes, he will.
They're all wrecking and doing their own burnouts in the background, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm not sure what they're doing in the restart zone right now, but they're not getting the celebratory burnout. So the 32 gets to burn it on down as he gets to celebrate. Maconi Entertainment will have post-race coverage coming up in a few moments. Take a listen to the celebration as Blair Hollyman burns it down here at the Magic Mile.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to New Hampshire for post-race coverage for Racers Elite competition. A part of tonight's action in the Family Traditions RV Rentals Fixed Truck Series. Laurel Hoyman gets the win after leading 38 laps, second most led laps in the race. Robbie Frost comes away in second with Sean Dunaway rounding out your podium. Robbie Ost and Alex Gates finished in the top 5, with Andrew Teft recovering from his incident early to 6th. Curtis Ecker and Troy Thomas were in the top 8, with Philip Archibald and Alex Teft your top 10.
Back in 11th place, Jesse Fox will finish there. Kirby Wayne Scott, last truck on the lead lap of the race in 12th. Frank Chavez and Truth Hope 2 laps down. Barry Nelson, Kensley Smith, Kyle Hess, and Alan Bergen. Bergen didn't take the green. Everybody else had problems throughout. That's your 18 truck field for tonight's race.
So it's on the bottom of the running order here for tonight. So let's take the opportunity to speak first things first with the gambler, Blair Hoyman. Hoyman, join us here in the broadcast booth in the next moments or so here.
Howdy, guys. Y'all got me?
Yeah, we'll take that. What's going on, Blair? It's Dylan here up in the booth. I gotta say, you shocked us all. Don't go back and watch the broadcast, or do. I might have just done the Streisand effect here, because we did not think you had any winning strategy with the way you were driving, but you sure showed us wrong. And now here's your time to gloat. Just take us through that line you kept taking and the drifting throughout.
Oh yeah, that line, that is all Yost. I know he finished 4th this evening, but that is a line that he has held true to every time we have ran New Hampshire in any league. I've seen him down there. I have doubted him quite a few years that line works. After after I spun off a 2 there and sadly took Phil with me, I decided, you know what? Let's take the chance and let's roll the bottom and let's see what happens. And yeah, we were going places for a while. I tried it for a little bit there when my tires were wore out before I killed Philip's truck, but I wanted to try with a fresh set, and with a fresh set, we went forward. I was shocked that it actually worked as well as it did, and I think it actually was saving tire throughout the run, which you wouldn't think that the apron that has absolutely no banking at all would save tire, but it looked like it did.
Hey, you definitely got the most out of what you were trying to deal with then throughout the race. I know Rob finished 4th. He was in a big battle of his own with Alex Gates. He kept running that similar line too. Wasn't dirt tracking it as much as you were coming out of these corners. But heck, a win is a win, and this is your 7th race of the year. Your 7th top 5, first win gives you a lot of momentum heading into the chase, does it not?
Yeah, I'm surprised I actually was able to get a win this season. This season has really kicked my ass. So pardon my French there. Every time I had a shot to do something good, I've managed to step on it. And then 2 of the races that I have a lot of good luck at, like 2 tracks I'm really got good luck at. I couldn't run because I was either at school or I was on vacation. So with the limited amount of starts, it's like every race you got to race like it's your last one. So it's like, all right, I got to throw them all up on the table and try to move forward. And I made mistakes, and it's just it's good to be able to get a win there. So it's like, all right, solidified it, locked in. I ain't got to worry about the points battle at the end of it. And just it's like I'm good, I won, I'm safe. So it's definitely good. And we're going into a couple tracks that seem interesting. I know we got what is it, Iowa on the list, the rescan of Iowa. I know we're finishing the season at 5 Flags, which is absolutely terrifying when you think about it. And Charlotte and Kansas, which with how these trucks are driving now, both those races are going to be barn burners. I can feel it. It's going to be really good races. So we got a lot to look forward to in these next 4 weeks. Hopefully we can deliver.
Yeah, it's going to be quite exciting, and you're absolutely right. Iowa, Charlotte, Kansas, 5 Flags. That is the 4-race chase situation. So it's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of chaos. Like you said, I think we're going to see a lot of that at 5 Flags to crown a champion here. But going to give you the spotlight. Who do you want to thank for tonight's race?
Yeah, I want to give a couple shout outs. Of course, I want to give a shout out to Yost. I mean, if I didn't listen to him, I wouldn't have won this race. That's plain and simple. I had at best a top 10 truck, and I mean the latter half of top 10, maybe eighth or ninth. But I followed Yost's line, and it worked out well. And I'm glad to see me and him both get top fives. Definitely a good night for the Zuyos gang. On the truck, we got 2 sponsors I want to give a shout out to. Macco Tools, I want to give a shout out to my tool guy, Roy Salisbury. On the hood and on the deck lid, we got Holloman Napa Auto Parts. That's my cousin Tad's family business. And I know my dad's watching. I hope he enjoyed the race today as we spun and came back to get it done there at the end.
Well, Blair, congratulations. The Gambler gets it done in Loudon. It doesn't have the same ring as Las Vegas would have, but hey, it is all good. A win is a win. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys. You have a good one.
All right, JP, you're up with both P2 and P3, Riley Frost and Sean Dunaway.
Yes, indeed. Why don't we talk with Riley Frost? Riley, let's talk about your race here tonight. How would you describe things as you went for the undercut strategy for this race win?
Yeah, I thought I'd short pit, maybe get the lead and try and hold Blair off. I know he was the guy to beat all night, but he came up quick and I had nothing for him really.
How was it trying to run this track while making sure you didn't cook the tires?
Yeah, you could really blow the right front off it. Still something I'm trying to figure out, I guess.
So with that in mind here, what's your approach the rest of the season as you're actually the highest running of the drivers coming into tonight, at least you were, that were not eligible for the postseason?
Yeah, wins, I guess. Just try and win.
Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
You guys over at Maconi, Family Traditions Outdoors, and everybody watching at home.
Congratulations on the second place run here tonight, Raleigh.
Thank you.
Riley Frost to the point here tonight. Sean Dunaway led 19 laps and had the truck that seemed to be one to beat until Blair Hoyman turned things around. Sean, talk to us through that race where it looked like it was going to be a third win, but things seemed to change at certain points once the temperature started to drop.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody was running that second lane at the start, and even some people were running the third lane. I just thought to myself, that can't be very efficient for a long run. So I decided to go a little more to the bottom, not necessarily on the apron there, just hugging the bottom. And it did work out for me for the most part until Blair found out that he could actually run the apron, even shift down to third gear. And yeah, it was just wicked fast after that. I tried it myself a couple laps near the end there just to see if I could find speed doing it. Unfortunately, couldn't find the same speed, but I tried a more hybrid approach where I would like get into the apron, get out of the apron a little and then back into the apron. And that was kind of the approach I took. That's how I felt fast. Unfortunately, it wasn't as fast as Blair, but still had a pretty good race nonetheless there.
An interesting night to say the very least. And how do you feel about your playoff positioning coming in with a couple wins on the regular season? How do you feel about the chase for the next 4 rounds?
Yeah, it's feeling pretty good. This is definitely the most wins I've ever gotten in a season already. So, it feels good to have that. Feels good to kind of always be up in the top 5, top 10 here. So feeling pretty confident that I can continue that. But yeah, I think in order to really get these playoffs up and running for me, I really need to find that win again. So hopefully we can do that.
So let me ask you this on the next racetrack, Iowa. How do you feel about going to Iowa for 140 laps next week?
Oh yeah, I actually really love Iowa, but I guess I've never actually driven the new because they actually reamped it, didn't they? So I haven't driven that one yet, but I'm feeling fairly confident in my short track skills with this truck car, especially at a track like Iowa where you do still have to be very patient and just find those correct lines through, especially turns 3 and 4 there where you have to find as much speed as possible out of 4. So I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Any show that you'd like to give here tonight?
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to thank my wife, my mom and stepdad for always watching, and then my cats for always trying to ruin my race here.
Congratulations on the run.
Alrighty, thanks guys.
Sean Dunaway rounds out our top 3. I'd like to thank the entire top 3 for speaking with us during post-race coverage here on Maconi Entertainment. Your final thoughts on tonight here, Dylan, as tonight we essentially lock things down for who's going to go to the chase.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a weird race, right? We didn't usually see the 98 fighting for the race win. Andrew Teft with a very sneaky 6th place position, almost could have been even 4th place if the results shook out a little bit differently. But Blair Hollyman with a strategy that he kind of attributes to Rob Yost, who finishes in 4th. Would have loved to have talked to him too. Sets us up for a very intriguing 4-race dash. Or chase, if you will, to the championship. Just 4 races, and 2 of them are short tracks, 2 of them are intermediate 1.5-mile racetracks. We're all going to show you the action on Maconi Entertainment. Join us next Tuesday night, same time, same place. Iowa Speedway, though, is going to be the track we go to.
Should be an interesting time, 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time start. Be sure to tune in once again. Maconi Entertainment. Once again, we'd like to thank you for tuning in for tonight's action. Calling the action tonight was myself, Justin Prince, alongside Dylan Coyle. Christian Hill was our producer. Thanks to our viewers for watching tonight's racing action. Hope you stay tuned to all our social media pages for our next race. Thanks to the entire staff for their work in bringing this racing to you. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. We'll see you next time.
All right.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.